name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So I've been saying for quite some time, I think the culture war is over. I think when I say it's over, it's not really over. I think the culture war is over, much like this World War II was over after D-Day, right? And I think we're getting ready for D-Day. D-Day in the culture war is going to be this year. I think we're going to have several fronts. Star Trek Picard being the next one coming out. What was it, tomorrow, I believe? This video has been recorded on Tuesday. Oh, Valentine's Day. Oh, I believe, and this is apocryphal. It's not apocryphal. I just never looked into it to find out. But St. Valentine. One of the reasons he was canonized was because he burnt all the, and I think it's in France, all the Jewish holy books in scroll form in the Middle Ages in France. So so now we have some chocolates and have sex. It's an excuse to go out and have a nice evening with your beloved, and I don't really need an excuse. I'm not going to complain about anybody having an excuse to go out and have a nice time with their their beloved. I think we should all do that. It's a very nice thing to do. I'm going to finish with this science in a minute and get to Doctor Who. I absolutely super promise. I've been really enjoying the Ricky Gervais show from 2012, Derek. I've been absolutely loving that, which is about I don't know, is it autistic, some kind of mentally handicapped person, played by Ricky Gervais, in an old age home, and you just get to see, it's a show about virtue, right? It's a show about, like, how doing the right thing is hard and is very, very rewarding, and not doing the right thing is easy and not rewarding. So I just like that. People watch TV shows for escapism mainly. I don't. I watch TV to think, which I always loved Doctor Who. It gave me very, very interesting things to think about. I keep saying my favourite moment ever. I think the greatest moment ever in not my favourite, the greatest moment ever in Doctor Who was Tom Baker with those two strands of wire saying, "Have I got the right?" That moral ambiguity. You see, that's why. So I watched Derek for escapism because I'm like, I would love to live in that world. I would love to live that. I'd love to be a person working in that old age home where, it's just nice. People being nice to each other. I like it. I mean, I don't know. And that's not what the show's like. But anyway, there you go. How we got onto this, I do not know. I don't know. Culture war, right? Culture war. The culture war, I think, is mostly over. That being said, there are some holdouts. One of those holdouts is CBR. CBR are a major actor in the culture war, I would say. Well, major actor. They work for a major actor in the culture war, which is CBS. CBS News, well, like all the other news, lying cunts, I think is the correct journalistic expression. It's insane. It's insane how much they actively lied. It's not like getting stories wrong. Lied and lied and lied. And CBR is not that different, right? So CBR, I think, again, if the culture war is over or about to be over, this is like one of those lone Japanese soldiers they found on islands in the 1970s who didn't know the war was over, right? And they had to, talk him down. That's CBR, right? They are still heavily in the culture war, right? They are heavily there because they just doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on it. We got other all the other websites I go to basically come from the same source. But CBR seems to be the worst. Screen Rant seems to be like, well, maybe we should try and encourage people not to hate our content, right? And Game Rant, they occasionally do a Doctor Who story. But there's an interesting synchronicity going on, is they're all suddenly obsessed with classic companions. They are all like, or companions in general. They're all just obsessed with companions. Which companions coming back? Which companions suck? All kinds of things about companions. And I'm one person who believes in, notices synchronicity, right? I think synchronicity is an interesting thing where things synchronize in life. So that's what I saw. I saw a lot of things about companions. I thought, we'll do a video about companions this morning. That was my plan, That's basically the plan that goes into this channel. Just so you all know, right? There's fresh content every day. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are good. Fresh content every day. I have on Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday I live stream, right? So there you have those days. Then on those days I'm not live streaming, you have an original video, normally goes out at 5 o'clock or around 5 o'clock UK time. That'd be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So original content every day. Then I repackage a lot of the stuff from my live streams and put that out. But there's going to be a ton new content coming because of the these incredible clone AI voice generators, voice generator I've discovered. If you haven't heard my Peter Capaldi one, go find that on the channel. It's incredible. I've developed the Tom Baker one. It sounds like Tom Baker to me. I mean, it's great. So there's a lot of stuff I want to do. I mean, Peter Capaldi reading War of the Worlds. I think I might do that, like a chapter a week. That's my latest obsession, right? I am just super obsessed with trying to find making these virtual Doctor Who voices. Colin Baker one and Sylvester McCoy's do not work well. I got to try and add more voice samples to it, which is a real bummer. Sylvester McCoy especially, because I would love to do books on tape of the Virgin New Adventures, as it's kind of like being a forgotten era, right? I would love to put out books on tape of those, because as I said, I think they did one. I think Lisa Bowerman read a Bernie Summerfield. Lisa Bowerman, who played Bernie Summerfield, read Human Nature. Possibly. And look, I got lots of Lisa Bowerman samples. I could totally get her to read a New Adventure one. I could get. I think I have enough Sophie Aldred samples as well. I could probably do a Sophie Aldred, but I would like Sylvester McCoy, right? That's what I want. I would like Sylvester McCoy. I've got a ton of Pertwee, right? Pertwee did lots of books on tape. So there's a great book by Gary Russell called Scales of Injustice. If I can get John Pertwee to read that, I'd super duper will, right? So that's what's going on the channel. Lots of like fiction. Yeah, audio fiction will be joining us very soon. So like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are very, very helpful. Look in the video notes. I mean, when I say helpful, insanely freaking helpful. Thank you, right? Very helpful. Like, in the video notes, there's my Twitter, my Substack. That's my email newsletter. Please follow me on that. Sign up with that. It's really, really helpful as well. And Instagram. I think Instagram's just too much for me. Anyway, listen. Anybody out there wants to manage my Instagram channel, let me know. Because, Jess, it's too much. It's too much. Maybe I should find some. Maybe I'll see if I can find somebody who'll do it. But yeah, anybody out there wants to manage my Instagram channel, yeah, I can. It's just too much. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll find the energy to. I don't know. Or dare to dream. But, actually, I dare to dream a lot. But what I do know about is these articles. We're going to rip the shit out of them. So let's start over here. Doink! There you go. Okay, the CBR publishes an article. I pay attention. I pay attention because they're always going to be freaking awful, right? They're always going to be... CBR are that, lone Japanese soldier on an island in 1972, thinking the war's still running. Right? And bless them. I mean... They're not really... Okay, the analogy is they're like defeated German troops in 1944, right? They're basically being routed by 44. Being routed or burning all the documents from concentration camps. I mean, really? Like, oh crap, we're going to get caught. It's the same look on their faces as I see on the Twitter board as they facing Congress. I doubt anything will happen to them. But the same look of like, just burn everything, right? Burn everything. Which is what I would say for the culture war. Like, really, everything anybody said in the culture war, which is like stunning and brave, whatever. Just get rid of all of that stuff. It's an embarrassment to you all. Okay, it's an embarrassment to you all. 10 most useless Doctor Who characters and what they could do better. Okay. I believe this is a social justice warrior and saying the word "do better." Do better. This is one of the things they love to say. They love to tell you to do better, while at the same time they are the absolute worst people in all of humanity. Right? They are the. Here's a great definition of who they are. Let me open this up. Doink. There you go. Woke, a state of awareness only achieved by those dumb enough to find injustice in everything except their own behavior. Yes. And speaking of which, Matthew Sweet. Daily on Twitter, screaming his lungs out, like pompously scream. And I like Matthew Sweet, I like his work, but pompously screaming his lungs out about conspiracy theories, conspiracy theories. Like, Matthew, mate, it's nice that you want to completely believe everything the government tells you. I think you're a schmuck, right? And I think the reason you're so evangelical about this is because you've been programmed to be evangelical about this. I think people in the security services sat down and thought, how do we dupe people with an education? Oh, it's easy. It's easy. We just tell them that they're the smart ones for not questioning. And it worked. It totally worked, right? You were told, oh, you're conspiracy theorists. And yeah, there are bonkers people who think aliens are putting, I don't know, iodine into our money to control. I don't know. There are bonkers things. But like, dude, so many conspiracy theories have been turned out to be true and so much worse than you thought. But, you know, again, people are like, no, that's not happening. People like Matthew Sweet, who has been again, an academic, an intelligent person who has been completely duped, right? Completely duped. This is the world we live in. That's why I want to live in the world of Derek, right? I want to live in the world of Derek. I really do. Some Doctor Who characters are completely incompetent. Who are we missing out from this? Is completely incompetent. Let me think. Who's the most incompetent character ever in Doctor Who? Well, that would be Jodie, right? The 13th Doctor, if indeed she was a Doctor. Yes, the most absolutely incompetent character ever to appear in Doctor Who, next to Yaz, who was bland and incompetent. And what they could do better. Some Doctor Who characters are completely incompetent when they travel with a Time Lord, and there's a lot of room for improvement. Oh my God, Sean, mate, this is like a bingo card of moron. Room for improvement. Do better. The Doctor Who universe is home to many colourful characters. Well, it wasn't for the last 5 years when Chris Chibnall took over, when it was just home to many boring characters. I take that back. I like Carvanista, okay? I like the big doggy. I like dogs, okay? I like dogs. But I like the guy, was it Craig Hales played him? I found he was fun, right? But it's like when you look at let's say you have a dog and he's just made diarrhea all over your floor, right? Some bits of diarrhea aren't so bad. Some actually look quite pretty if you look at it, but mostly it's diarrhea. That's the Jodie era. With Caitlin Blackwood recently confirmed to be reprising a role as the young Amy Pond for Big Finish. That actually sounds quite good. That 8th of March release actually sounds like it'd be good. See, this is what I mean about the culture war being over, right? 8th of March is normally the most turgid shit you could possibly imagine, right? Celebrating International Women's Day. Because women, women certainly have a hard deal in the Western world. Yeah, absolutely. No, they don't. Not more than anybody else. Fans are debating the show's most memorable individuals. Well, again, would be Jodie. We're all doing our best to forget her, but boy, does that incompetent portrayal stick in one's mind. The Doctor encounters many brave people, but some fall short of the Time Lord's high expectations. Jodie era fell short of this person's expectations. These endearingly useless characters are entertaining for viewers as they react badly to the Doctor's dangerous adventures. The Who'diverse's bumbling inhabitants have a lot of room for improvement. Their surprising incompetence often holds back from achieving their aims. Well, again, look. Why is there a culture war? Essentially because of this, right? Because people were scared Donald Trump was Hitler, right? People were scared that Donald Trump was again, they would pump bullshit through social media, but they were legitimately scared. So their responses, they started acting like fascists to stop somebody who they thought was a fascist, right? They started to act like fascists. That's essentially where we are, right? This just ties into what they. What you fear the most, right, is the thing that you will always call to happen. You got to move on from fear. The great example is when I used to listen to Howard Stern, Baba Booey, this producer, who was invited to throw an opening ball in for some baseball game, and he was like, before and said, "Oh, I hope I don't screw it up. I hope I don't look stupid. I hope I don't look. I hope I don't do a bad throw." And then when he did it, it was the worst throw anybody had ever done ever. Right? It's the same thing, right? Exactly the same thing. And Totus's fear led to his death. Well, yeah, that was actually a plot point. That was, they see, that's what's called morality, right? Let's call it a morality tale, right? Somebody succumbing to their negative side, right? Leads to their death. Yes, it's called a morality. Yeah, I know that's why you're confused. Morality? Ooh, isn't that where I can tell people they're wrong? And when I sit on a perch and say I'm right, no, that's not morality at all. Fine. So he should have stayed. Should have been more confident and trusted their mission to defeat the Daleks. I mean, really, God, I would love to see anybody who reads this going into combat, right? Going into combat on a guerrilla and on a guerrilla mission. I'd love to see them be more confident and trusted their mission to defeat the Daleks. Really, it was very, very dumb. I kind of like that bit in Dalek Invasion of the Earth when they did the not Dalek, the Daleks, the Peter Cushing version, when they're basically climbing up this large mountain, which looked like it was a glass painting shot, right? And it had this music went on for and there was like bubbly things in the water, very colourful, very colourful. Appearing in 1903, the Daleks at Totus became a prominent presence during the Thals ambush on the Dalek city. No, he wasn't a prominent presence. He was a bloke, right? Wearing a lot of makeup. Nevertheless, he proves to be one of the most incapable comrade and is especially hesitant to take down the nefarious Pepperbots. Yes, he was scared. Totus is scared throughout the 7-part serial as was he in all 7 parts? I don't know. As he doubts their ability to defeat the Dark. Yes, this is morality they're trying to get over to you, you freaking cockwomble moron. What's morality? Most notably, he's extremely terrified at the notion of crossing the cavern on the rope. Okay. His nerves ultimately lead to his ultimate demise as he fails to reach the cliff edge and plummets to his death, and Totus could have survived to have been more confident in his own abilities. Oh yes, could be more. I mean, this guy is a moron, and trusted their mission to stop the Malsifim creatures. I hear they're going for all the heavy, all the heavy hitters in this this article. Major Blake is he was a background character in the Christmas Invasion. Should have been more tactful with the Sycorax. Oh yes, should have been. I mean, God, this guy is the most. Who is it? Sean Bassett? Like this. It would be better if this was written by Bertie Bassett, quite frankly. Major Blake featured as unit's strong-minded commander in the Christmas Invasion alongside David Tennant, who is set to return to Doctor Who for the 6th anniversary. As we know that. Blake's impulsive attitude towards the Sycorax invasion causes him to become one of unit's most short-lived majors. Oh, you kind of remembered him. Upon witnessing the Wellens' murder at the hands of Sycorax, Major angrily confronts the vicious extraterrestrials. His rather aggressive reaction towards the Sycorax ends with the cruel aliens mercilessly killing the Major. Yes, I understand. Had Blake taken a more tactful approach, his life would have been, may have been spared. Fuck me. I mean, like honestly, what on earth would have happened if this guy was in World War II? Right, I'm like, no, we got to appease the Nazis because, they're very strong. I understand. And they're socialists, and socialism is good, right? I can hear this guy thinking, right? It's incredible. The geographer's living conditions are restrictive. Should have chosen a more suitable setting. Okay, really? Okay. Look, Jagrafest was not one of the greatest moments in Doctor Who. I will agree with you, but okay, you're worried about the Jagrafest being too squeezed in his like, how did they get him in there? Did he? I don't think you're really getting the most out of Doctor Who. Sean Bassett, I don't think you're really watching this on the level that's supposed to be watched, right? Found on the floor of Satellite 5's, found on the roof of Satellite 5's floor 500, ceiling, not roof. Roof is the top, on the outside bit. Okay, but never mind. The Jaguar-Fist is at first an intimidating sight. However, his unfortunate circumstances restrict him to one singular location, which makes him considerably less threatening. Okay, the Jaguar-Fist must be kept in sub-zero temperatures. As a result, he is unable to leave floor 500. Consequently, he uses his human ally, the editor, to do his bidding. Okay. Bringing unsuspecting Satellite 5 workers to his location to be killed. Unable to... Okay, this... Tales of Wen Chiang and Mr. Sin. And Lee Sen Chang bringing people from Magnus Grill. Same bloody thing. Oh, God, this guy's a moron. Honestly, the stupidity of this guy really is kind of like grating. What I go through for you people. Unable to escape the energy of the catheter chip. The Jaguar-Fist restrictions led to his eventual downfall. By choosing a more suitable setting to exact his plans, the Jaguar-Fist could have avoided his ultimate demise. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Melanie Bush was a useless companion! Well, fair enough. Although, I mean, she got a good second wind on Big Finish, right? Should have used her impressive computing skills. That was just... nobody knew what computing meant. Wasn't she invented by Pip and Jane Baker? Yeah, Terror of the Vervoids, right? Pip and Jane Baker, who at the end of Trial of the Time Lord, the next fucking episode, right? The next episode, right? When they revealed their evil computer plan, you know what it was that they were building? This large chimney was apparently a megabyte modem. A megabyte modem, like a megabyte modem. How unspeakably evil! And I think I'm quoting directly. Okay, I think I am. I'm not sure. A megabyte modem. Yes, that's because nobody heard of a fucking megabyte. Well, I had actually. I mean, how old was I? It was my 15-year-old self had heard of a megabyte modem. It was a modem. It wasn't even a particularly new piece of technology at the time. But okay, they just heard the name. Okay, and it is cringe beyond cringe. So that's her impressive computing skills. She really was redeemed a lot in Big Finish, right? And they made her more into a human being. And as with Bonnie Langford in general, look, most people rolled their eyes when Bonnie Langford became a companion, because she was mostly known from Just William. I guess scream until I'm sick, right? And she had like this goody two shoes image, and people just weren't really into her. Now, I mean, like, she's like sex on legs. It's really weird. How did that happen? Right? It's very strange. Like now, and she's a much more. And when I see current day Bonnie Langford in Doctor Who, I was like, yeah, I'm really happy to see her. It's the weirdest thing, right? It's the weirdest thing. I guess it is. This is a dark analogy. We were talking about, the Holocaust a lot this video. We'll throw another one in. Imagine you got a little village, right? And all the Jews in the town are killed. They're all wiped out, apart from two. And those two people absolutely hated each other before the war. They're the last two surviving. They're going to be buddies. I think that's why I'm happy to see Mel. Okay. There was some really good ones with Colin Baker. There was... what was it with the Eminence? That was a great villain. They just totally forgot about. I really liked the stuff they did with the Eminence, which was like this gas that would fill people up. Whatever. 2022 was a great year for Doctor Who. No, it fucking wasn't. It was a great year for 5 minutes of Doctor Who, right? 2022 was great the minute that David Tennant appeared on screen, right? And then all you weirdos started going, I'm melting! Help me, I'm melting! Like, that's really what happened. But up until then, it was reasonably shitty, right? It was reasonably shitty. One of the greatest highlights was seeing Melanie Bush's cameo. I forgot her name was Melanie Bush. Really? Like, why? Well, her brief appearance delighted fans. Well, it meant Jodie Whittaker was on screen. That was a plus. Viewers can't forget how useless she was during her time with the TARDIS. Although she's a computer program, Mel showed none of her expertise traveling with the Doctor. She said, 8 megabyte modem. How unspeakably evil. She did that. She did that. Instead of the Doctor's health-conscious assistant spent much of the time screaming at the Doctor's many adversaries. Not screaming at them, screaming from them, right? One of the good bits of her screaming, however, was, I'm going to say, Terror of the Vervoids episode 1, the cliffhanger at the end of it, or maybe 2. That'll be what? Trial of the Time Lord 9 or 10, something like around there. She screams at the end, right? And they get her to scream in the same pitch as the first note of the Doctor Who title, so it just goes real straight into the music. It was really, really good. There you go. Mel would have fared better as a companion had she used her impressive computing skills to keep the Doctor out of danger. There weren't any computing skills in 85. No one had computing skills in 1985. Glibs always flees. Yes, that was his character. This guy doesn't understand morality, story, or character. Oh, that's why I love Jodie Whittaker. Clearly. Should have been more confident. Really, Gibbons is a nervous presence throughout the episode, The God Complex. Brilliant episode. Absolutely brilliant episode. Terrified that Minotaur patrolling the hotel, Gibbons becomes more of a hindrance to the Doctor's heroics. Yes, that was the story. This strange alien hails from the Triviality race who willingly allow their planet to be invaded rather than stand up to their oppressors. What book was that? It was I think it was one of the Virgin New Adventures, right? You had an alternate third Doctor who worked out if they just if Earth surrendered to the Ice Warriors, then the Ice Warriors would just come and do a parade once a year and basically leave them alone and protect them from all the aliens trying to invade them, right? It was like, it kind of worked out quite well. So yeah, that. So I think that's basically the same mindset. Gibbons' cowardly nature makes him easy to control as he prefers to flee from deadly predicaments. God, what is it like? I don't understand how this guy got an article about this, right? He showed more bravery in the heat of battle than his life circumstances would undoubtedly improve. Okay, I got to know more about Sean Bassett. Do we have his Twitter? I want to hear about your life circumstances, right? Who are you? Tell me more, Sean. I want to know more about the mystery that is Sean Bassett. Oh, man. Do we have his... oh, there you go. He's a 12-year-old. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at his Twitter. Sean the Mendosian Psychic. He's a 12-year-old. Oh, my God. He's 27. I don't pretend to be perfect. I wish to be human. Screen rant writer, 27 years of age? Really? 27? No, really? He looks like he's 12. Okay. Fine. It's not full of politics though. I'm quite impressed. Is there any like Jodiness? I mean, this guy is just an idiot, right? Does he have his bio? And he doesn't have his what's the name in his bio? His pronouns in his bio. Okay, fine. Okay. In his this is only in the last 21 minutes. Oh my God, this guy uses Twitter a lot. I just realized. I thought it went back a few days. No, I'm 21 minutes back. Holy crap! This guy's on Twitter a lot. A lot. Really? Is really going to pop into the Rovers for a pint? I don't know. Cool, but why is there no announcement at the end of count? I don't know. Okay, fine. Oh, this must be him. So jealous. I bet Jodie Whittaker would love them in real life. I mean, look, she's got to be nicer than she was as a better human being than she was as an actor, right? I imagine. Fine. Okay, fine. Sean, let's just move on, mate. Let's just move on. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Oh, 27. No way. I don't believe it. I really don't believe you. Chameleon is easily manipulated. Really, Chameleon? Again, that was this character. Well, that was the point of the character. Should have been more prepared for the master. Should have been, absolutely. I quite like John Culture's Chameleon. They did like a good Chameleon arc on in Big Finish as well. That's one of the last good bits of the main range before it like just turned to crap. As the robotic shapeshifter, Chameleon would have been would seem one of the Doctor's most useful companions. Unfortunately, he failed to live up to his potential. His travels alongside the Fifth Doctor have been widely praised for his youthful charm. However, he showed his flaws as being who's easily manipulated. Throughout his escapades, Chameleon frequently falls under the Master's spell, twice, uses Chameleon to exact some of his most deadly deeds. Additionally, Chameleon rarely uses shape-shifting ability, which would have helped the Doctor in various escapes. They couldn't use Chameleon because okay, this is where computer programmers were back in 1980. 82. The guy who made the software for Chameleon died, and nobody knew how to work it, right? That's why it couldn't move. It was supposed to be able to walk on its own, but the guy who did it just died, and that's why they never saw it again. That's why they never mentioned it until Planet of Fire, and then all of a sudden it was being shaken off screen by someone going, Chameleon. And that's so weird. Turlo and the Doctor turned to him and say, Chameleon, really? Really? You haven't spoken about him for like a year. Now you go, oh, it must be Chameleon. Chameleon rarely uses shape-shifting ability, which would have helped the Doctor get out of various scrapes. The robot assistant let his guard down too many times. He should have been prepared for better than the Master. Okay, shut up. Susan Foreman was constantly screaming. No, she wasn't. I'm in the middle of watching Dalek Invasion of Earth. She's not. I mean, she does scream, right? By the way, I just watched episode 4 last night. And it's so obvious that William Hartnell took a week off, right? When he's like, you just see him from the back, somebody go, oh, and he waves his hand and then collapses, right? As they find they have to defuse a Dalek bomb, I think. Fine. So as his granddaughter, Susan is one of the most important people in the Doctor's life. While the young Time Lord does demonstrate her grandfather's curiosity and fascination with history, she doesn't possess the same level of bravery, which makes things difficult during the time-traveling venture. I disagree completely. I disagree completely. That's not what she was like at all. I mean, she was a 16-year-old. She played it like a kid. Kids were allowed to be scared at the time, and adults protected them. Now, adults try and talk them into going to drag shows and cutting their tits off. That's just how times change, baby. That's just how times change. Susan tends to scream on her adventures and has a broken ankle on more than one occasion. They did rip the piss out that in the Five Doctors. Despite being a Time Lord, she's also very rarely displays the intelligence expected from a member of the Doctor species. Okay, this is just like so grating listening to somebody who really hasn't watched much of this go to talk about it. Clearly, you don't know. And again, if this is a list of the most useless characters in Doctor Who, where's Jodie? I mean, I think that would be quite a fair fair question. Don't you like literally the most useless question, the most useless character in Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker. To be a more assistant to her grandfather, Susan needs to show her greater courage and share more of her knowledge that she should possess a member of a race of a highly advanced race. Oh, shut up. She was supposed to be a relatable kid who's an alien, and that took you inside the mystery. That was the point of her. And then later in Big Finish, Susan's War, I thought was excellent, right? Adam Mitchell was too selfish and greedy. That was the fucking point of the character! I'm really getting fucked off with this. Yes, that was the point of the character. Should have not gone through with the microfit surgery. Yes, we know. That was, I mean, literally, he was called in the bio, in the breakdown for the series, the companion that couldn't, right? Yeah, I can't. Okay, this Angie Matlan acts fortunately. Who is it? Stayed by the Doctor. Should have stayed by the Doctor and Clara. Is he referencing Kill the Moon? Okay, whatever. She was kidnapped by the Cybermen. I don't even remember her. Okay, whatever. And Colonel No Name. Should have listened to the Doctor's advice. Colonel Mason's. This is the most intently stupid article. It was stupider than I thought it was going to be. So stupid I couldn't bloody read it. Right? Absolutely couldn't read it. So let's go to this one. Game round. Let's see that's going to be better. Doctor Who. What other companions could return? I spent way too long on that piece of shit article. That was just, absolute nonsense. What other Doctor Who companions could return? The companions from the past have been popping up in Doctor Who lately. Who else could return? Due to return, Jo Grant has actually. I would love to see her return. Maybe I think there's a good chance of her returning the 60th. Right? I think it'll be lovely. In recent seasons, Doctor Who fans have been treated to the appearances by several other companions in the lead up to our other 60th anniversary of fall of 2023. The BBC has been pulling out all the stops to create as much hype as possible. No, they haven't. Rusty Davis has. BBC, they were the people pulling out all the stops to create as much hype as possible for the Jodie Whittaker years, which is none whatsoever. Remember how shockingly embarrassed they were of Power of the Doctor? I mean, and it showed in the ratings. The BBC's classic companions Tegan and Ace have recently made a prominent appearance in the show. And the upcoming special will feature Catherine Tate and the 10th Doctor as the 10th Doctor companion Donna Noble. We don't actually know that, but we think so. Along with David Tennant as the Doctor. Now, the reason Tegan and Ace are in it because they were still young enough that they could be in it, and you know, they weren't like 103, right? And basically, they were there as fan service, right? To get fans to go, oh look, member berries, yay, right? And to remove Jodie Whittaker from the screen. Okay, I used to know a guy. This is terrible, right? This is terrible. And this shows you not the best side of the religious jury. Jury. So this guy, his job was called the Order Kusherer, right? It was a complete con, right? Religious guy. I have no idea how he did this, right? Like, isn't this wrong? There was a camera supply place in New York, in like I can't remember where, but like in the very Jewy area of New York, right? And you would order online from them, and then they'll send you a whole bunch of extra stuff and charge you for it, and you'll be like, what? So his job was to make those orders kosher. People would phone up screaming, and they'll say, oh, maybe you want to keep this. I mean, yeah, the Order Kusherer. That's basically kosher, right? And again, the most scummy job, and he was very good at it as well. The most scummy job in a scummy profession. It was just disgusting, right? Absolutely disgusting. So that's what Tegan and Ace were, to make this episode kosher, so you can look at it without wanting to vomit in your own mouth. Also, they replaced the Doctor with Sacha Dhawan for most of it. Quite a good idea, because Jodie Whittaker is awful as the Doctor. That's why she was in it, right? Having been in it, however, Sophie Aldred knocked it out of the park. I thought she did a great job. Classic Commander taking over, blah blah blah. And the upcoming battle fight. Now that Rusty Davis is back in the TARDIS console room, there's a pretty high chance that other former commanders could pop up in the future. It wasn't uncommon in the original Davis series for commanders to show up now and again. With David Tennant, well, there was Sarah Jane. Who else was there? Returning to the show, it seemed that anything is possible. With that in mind, I mean, there's also Joe Grant, the Sarah Jane I mentioned. With that in mind, what past commanders could return to the show? Really? Are we going to give us a list? No, fine. They're just going to waffle. Fine, we'll go with the waffle. In Doctor Who, it's technically possible for any companion to return to the show. Well, yeah, there are a lot of dead ones. I mean, like, if you can bring Jacqueline Hill back, I'll be quite impressed. Just do it as Susan, not as... Who was that one character in Mengelos kept screaming about the dodecahedron? The dodecahedron. She was a great singer, but, like, couldn't she have been Susan? And she had a great screen presence in that episode as well. In Doctor Who, it's technically possible for any command... Yeah, blah, blah. Time and space, that's a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. Fine. Crosspaths with former companions and different points in their timeline when they are alive or dead in the canon of the show. For example, look at the appearance of River's song on the show. River's first story in the series showed her death, and although she knew the Doctor, that was again the point of the character. River showed up. Oh, yeah, I understand. It's a time travel fucking show. I get that. I see that. I know. That's what that blue tunnely thing is. That they go up and down. Yes, it has time travel. I know what time fucking travel is. Did you know with time travel, you could go back in time and meet somebody before they died or when they were young? Really? Yeah, because you travel in time. I mean, okay, let's just keep going. In reality, full time is unfortunately linear. Oh, really? Doctor Who isn't real. Okay, this just in. I might not have screamed at this guy had the other article not wound me up completely. Meaning the actors who portray some of the past companions are no longer with us. However, digital effects advancements could be used to recreate appearances of former stars. Well, not really. Listen, we can get the voices, as I was telling at the beginning of this video, the AI voice cloning, freaking incredible, right? Absolutely incredible. Of all the companions, there is a pretty strong case for the return of River Song. Really? Not only was do you think River Song will come back? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking she's one of the least likely. Really? I mean, maybe. I'm thinking she's probably one of the least likely, though. Not only was River a fan favourite character, but the nature of her story lends herself to sporadic appearances as the audiences. As the audience we know that River will be adventuring all over time and space, and she wasn't with the Doctor. There was any other way she could. Yes, I understand. Are you still talking about time travel? Really? In terms of fan service, the return of Rose Tyler is possible. Currently living with a meta-crisis Doctor in a parallel universe, and also currently, approaching her 40s. Well, how old is she? What's that? She was in 2005. Oh, I could just look it up. Why don't we just do that? Billie Piper age. How old is she? Billie Piper she's 40, right? She's 40 now, right? When she played Rose, she was 18. Oh, the character was 18. She was like 22. I mean, how many years ago was that? It was 17 years ago, right? Yeah. I understand. They say, well, are you going to bring back 18-year-old Rose? I don't think so. Rose has been turned up after her departure. Notably, these appearances were integral to the Dr. Donna storyline, and also she ended up being Bad Wolf. She took on that persona when she played the Moment. I thought that was really good, actually. I thought that was a genuinely great way to bring Billie Piper back with and have her, be Rose but not Rose, and you explain that she's a bit older. That all really worked, actually. I thought that was good. At the end of the most recent run of episodes, showing a small group of previous companions for the Doctor. Again, fan service member bearers. That's all it was, right? Previous companion Graham began the group. Really? I never picked up on that plot point. And the scene shows several former companions meeting. Again, this is to make you go, oh, I like this. This is to detract from how shit it was. Okay, you know what this is? When a paedophile, like, you know, gets a puppy to entice a young child into the home. Again, now they just have to they're just given the show on Disney Plus. But yeah, used to be you had to get a puppy to entice people in. Now you get Joe Grant, Kate Stewart, Mel Bush in Chesterton, right? Yeah, that's how you do it. The short scene was a beautiful bridge between old and new Who, and perhaps gave the glimpse of actors willing to make future appearances in the show. Joe Grant, Katie Manning was a companion to the Third Doctor. I'm really looking forward to the return of Joe Jones coming out this month, right? On Big Finish. Was a companion to the Third Doctor and left to get married. Her character met other incarnations of the Doctor in Audio Adventures, and the 10th Doctor went on to visit her from afar in The Death of the Doctor. Mel Bush, okay, now you're just listing who was in that episode, in that scene, right? In Chesterton, William Russell, bless him, I think he's a bit old, long in the tooth. I would love to find, I mean, I love the stuff they did on, again, Big Finish, Companion Chronicles. These are really cheap, and this is a recommend. They had a trilogy of stories with Stephen Taylor, what's his name, from Blue Peter, where he was, and you know, after as he got old, you know, what happened in his life. That was really great. I'd love to see him in by, because, you know, I like Peter Purves. Having any of these characters show up in the current show will, with expanded roles, be a fun way to bring the old new series. Sarah Jane Smith's appearance in the 10th Doctor run was an iconic and powerful moment for fans, as was the return of Tegan and Ace. I disagree. I think the return of Sarah Jane was so much better than the return of Tegan and Ace. And I like the return of Tegan and Ace. I thought both of those things were good, right? But I think because they made her into a real character. Rusty Davis, mate. Rusty Davis. I think Sophie Aldred managed to craft a character out of the paper-thin piece of shit she was given to work with, because she's a talented actress. I think Janet Fielding, less so. Right? Less so. And why? Because she's not such a talented actress. The same reason, right? Exactly the same reason. Doctor has always been a show in touch with both its past and its potential future, referencing both the past incarnation of the Doctor and those who have travelled in the TARDIS before, has been part of a New Who since the return of 2005. Yeah, I understand. It's been a way for fans of the original series to connect. The old and the new invoke memories of their favorite Doctor and companion team. This show has never shied away from having previous incarnations of the Doctor appear in the show either. From Jodie Whittaker's final, yeah, again, they wanted to detract from Jodie Whittaker, right? This is what. Did you notice the shift in tone from their first two seasons, season 11 and 12, and Flux and Power of the Doctor? He'd learned how to fake that. He tried to cover over how he can't write. It was much harder in the first two seasons when he thought he could write, right? I think by Flux and Power of the Doctor, Christian had come to embrace a reality he cannot write, right? He just absolutely cannot write. Paul McGann, Colin Baker, Peter David, and David Bradley reprised their roles as the previous Doctor alongside the guesting companions. While it's unlikely an episode with such a stacked guest cast will occur anytime soon. November, you cockwomble moron. Yes, no, we are going to get so many callbacks, and we're not going to get one member buried. That's what I'm going to say. We're going to get zero fan service and no member burials, and we're going to see a lot of stuff from Doctor Who that, you know, is a treasure bit of its past. Yes, I mean, that's what remember the 5 Doctors? The whole thing was that, and it was wonderful, right? Why? Because they were all characters. Well, I mean, look, even the scene where the Third Doctor pulled Sarah Jane up from a non-existent embankment, right? Even that was good. There doesn't need to be, the Doctor accidentally cross paths with Ruby's companion. That doesn't mean a cataclysmic event for it to happen. When Sarah Jane appeared in the episode School Reunion, it just happened to be investigating the same events that 10 was. It wasn't special episode event. It was just an Alien of the Week episode. No! It was the Sarah Jane episode with an Alien of the Week in it. It was the Sarah Jane episode. It was a special episode because it had Sarah Jane. It was all about what happens to companions after they leave the docks. It was brilliant. Oh my God, was that Toby Whithouse? It was absolutely brilliant, right? Ultimately, there's almost unending ways to bring back previous companions into the mix. And there are plenty of actors who are clearly more than happy to make an appearance in the Lambert TV show. Whether Rusty Davis will catch on these appearances and be on the 60th, I doubt it. Remains to be seen. Still, the endless iterations of what could be are worth holding on to, and fitting for a show which is all about unknown and boundless possibilities. Never heard it described that way before. Is it that? I don't know. So, yeah. These people are morons. These people are morons who know absolutely nothing about Doctor Who and have absolutely no way of dealing with the fact they have absolutely no idea about what Doctor Who is, right? They are just... and they just can't stop talking about it. I mean, honestly... Yeah. This is what I think is going on. In greater society as well, everybody has a lot of egg on their face. Everybody, believes a lot of crap that wasn't true. Everybody believed Jodie Whittaker was the bestest ever. Everybody believed that Jodie Whittaker was breaking that glass ceiling as progressive and future, and everyone's going to be happy, and everybody was wrong. Everybody believed Joe Biden was the adult back at me when I say everybody. Everybody who's like Matthew Sweet. Everybody believed all these things. They believed everything because they were told that's what they should believe, right? And they believed it, and they believed they were independent, free-thinking people while they were being manipulated. These people who write these articles are exactly the same. They are exactly freaking the same. And now when it's so obvious that you were wrong, what happens? What happens when it's so insanely obvious you're wrong? You just double, triple, and quadruple down. You sit there with that egg dripping off your face and you pretend it's not there. And all of us can see it, right? All of us can see it. So what happens when we see it? Well, I'll tell you what I do when I see it. I make a video and I take the piss out of them, right? I make a video and take a piss out of them. I feel that's part of my duty in life. I hope you like me fulfilling my duty in life. Like, share, subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. That is fantastic. Thank you very much for doing it. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. As I said, like, share, subscribe. Have yourselves a fantastic day.